4:35 in the afternoon. Welcome back to the program. This is the Eddie Burke Show. I am your host, Eddie Burke. Sitting in the studio with me is Glenn Beagle, the host of the fastest show on radio at 5:30, immediately following CBS 11 KTVA News. Karen Rehfeld is my guest, budget director for Governor Sarah Palin. Karen, welcome to the program.
Very much.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. You sent out a press release today, and tell us, I guess that the governor is not accepting some of the stimulus money because of there are building codes that go along with it. So, the federal government gives us money, and it says, well, if you take this money, then you have to perform X, Y, and Z in order to get it. It's kind of like they bend you over the barrel. Maybe those aren't your words; those are mine. But what the governor has said is, in fact, she says Alaskans have a long history of independence and opposing many mandates from Washington D.C. Governor Palin said, we have the money, to do this on our own. The governor has also put money into the budget to cover the money that she is not accepting. But help us walk through it all.
Well, sure. I mean, there are actually several things happened today, and this particular topic was one of them. Basically, the governor signed the 6 appropriation bills that were passed by the legislature, and she did make some vetoes in that decision. The one that we're talking about right now had to do with House Bill 199, which is the stimulus funding bill, everything except for transportation projects. So the veto in there, that the state energy program funds, was done specifically, as you say, because the governor believes these are decisions that need to be made locally. And so in order for Alaska to be eligible for the funds, and we had been going back and forth with the U.S. Department of Energy a little bit to really understand what the requirements are, because what it says in the law and what their guidance says is a little bit different, but bottom line is, they wanted the governor to assure the U.S. Department of Energy that she would actively work with local communities to encourage them to adopt codes. And she just is not willing to do that because she believes that local governments are the best place to make decisions like this. And I think it's important that we recognize Alaskans are already working very hard to reduce energy costs. There's been a huge effort and huge commitment at the state level and the local level to address energy needs in Alaska. So we're already on that road. The Renewable Energy Fund was established last year. Over $125 million has already been put into that fund for projects with hydro and wind and tidal. And
sure.
There's just a lot of
and
effort.
Also the Alaska Housing Finance, they've put huge money into millions of dollars into to fix your home in order to bring down energy costs.
Absolutely. There was $260 million went into weatherization programs,
right,
and $100 million into our home energy rebate program. We're continuing the heating assistance programs for low-income households. We've got power cost equalization funds. There's just a huge effort in this state to address energy costs.
What the federal government did, if I might draw an analogy here, is that, it's like our education. The government says, well, here's money for federal education, but, you have to teach your children this way. Some people don't like, No Child Left Behind. And the federal government ships out huge amounts of money, but then they want to tell you how to do everything. And I think what the governor said is that Alaska's an we're independent people. We have our own money, and at this point in time, we don't think that being told what to do by the federal government is worth it.
And I think that the stimulus package, as it was designed, and the argument has been that these funds were supposed to be targeted, one time, let's get people working and
right,
important projects done. So in this particular program, if we were to be able to qualify to receive these one-time funds, we still would have to go down the road advocating for the adoption of codes at the local level and within this 8-year period, make sure that we meet some, 90% compliance issues. So it was one time we'd get the money, but the requirement continues. So the governor was really clear about her concerns on this all along, and even a couple of weeks ago had let people know I'm still not comfortable with this, and
right.
we kept working and working to see what would the U.S. Department really require, and you'll see we posted the response from the U.S. Department of Energy, and so it's all out there.
It should be noted, though, we're speaking with Karen Rehfeld. She is the Director of Office of Management and Budget under the Governor Palin's administration. It should be noticed that the governor also noted her commitment to reduce energy costs with ongoing efforts. The fiscal year 2010 capital and operating budgets include, and here it goes, $25.5 million for Alaska Energy Authority projects, $25 million for renewable energy, $38 million for power cost equalization, and $26.4 million for heating assistance, in addition to hundreds of millions of dollars in conservation efforts. We combined with the sufficient investments in the current fiscal year, including $260 million for weatherization, $100 million for home energy rebates, and $100 million for renewable energy projects. Our commitment is clear, Governor Palin said. So it doesn't seem like somebody can run up the ladder and say the governor's not committed to reducing energy cost or weatherization or anything like that, because what she's done is just simply said no to a lot of mandates.
Absolutely, and that's the message. That's what we're trying to be clear about, and certainly we hope people understand that. I suspect there'll be some questions about her decision today, but I think it's pretty clear, and she's tried to be very clear in communicating this on several occasions now. So, I mean, the total budget that we signed today for the next fiscal year is about $10 billion, all funds. For capital and operating programs. It's down a little bit from the current year, but again, we think we have a responsible budget, provides those essential services that Alaskans expect from government, and there were a few reductions or vetoes in the budget, I think, because you see that the legislature and the administration really worked very hard together on the budget this year.
Now, if the legislature wants to, when it convenes here in January, it could reinstate this money, couldn't it?
They could
or couldn't
choose. They could override. The legislature could either call themselves into session to address this, or within the first 5 days of the regular session next January, they could choose to override.
They could. All right. I tell you what, Glenn Beagle, my colleague here in the studio with me, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. Mr. Beagle has some questions for you. Can you stick with us, Karen?
I will stick with you.
Okay, thank you so much. That'll be great. Karen Rehfeld, Director of Office of Management and Budget. Director of the Office of Management and Budget. I had to say that correctly. It's always a tongue twister for me. We'll be right back, folks. Stick around.